Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Bukkit for Beginners. This is where I'm going to introduce Bukkit to you guys, get you all set up with that so you're ready to make some plugins. So, what you want to do first is go to your Explorer, or Google Chrome, thank you very much. Download, go to Bukkit.org. Now on the main page, you should see where they can you can download their builds of CraftBukkit, or you can go to Get CraftBukkit. Actually, sorry, no, don't do that. That's stupid. Go down here, Get CraftBukkit 1.6.2 recommended build 1.0. Click on the download link. Bitdefender, it's fine, trust me. It's going to download. Let that download nice and good. In the meantime, we're going to open up our Eclipse. You should be in your Turtles class. Now what you're going to want to do is right click on YouTube Practice. Go to Properties. Go to Java Build Path. Go to Libraries. Add external jars. Now you're going to want to find wherever you downloaded that CraftBukkit. So we'll show in folder. I'm going to copy that, bring it on over. So here's CraftBukkit 1.6.2 1.0. Open that up. Now all this is going to do is it's going to bring in all the CraftBukkit code into your plugin, so that you can use all their methods. Do you remember in the last episode when we talked all about methods, where the public methods are the ones that you're able to access? Well, this jar file right here, I'm talking with my hands again. This jar file right here is where all of the methods, like all the Bukkit methods, like getting a player and setting a person on fire and all that, they are all inside of this jar file. So that's why you need to import it into your program or into your plugin. So hit OK. Something else you can do that might be useful. You want to go open up under here, open up referenced libraries. Right click CraftBukkit.jar. Go to Properties. Go to JavaDoc location. Go to your browser. Type in Bukkit plugin tutorial. Only because I haven't memorize what the link is for this yet. Go to the first one, scroll down. You know what? I'm just going to post this in the description so you guys can easily get that. Now, you're going to want to, here, I'll just post it. You're going to copy that. Paste this in there, hit validate. The wheel's going to spin. Awesome stuff. Apply. Okay. What that just did is it's gonna when you, let's say we type system dot out dot, or we need a method to hold all our crap. So static void. This is the nice main method that is good stuff. System dot out dot print. See this little yellow box that appears over here? It gives you all the info about the methods. Now, what we just did with importing the Java docs, we just gave this to Bukkit, because this is the default to the core Java code. But we just gave this to Bukkit now. So whenever we hover over a Bukkit method, it'll give us all kinds of information about it that we can use. So get this regular Java code out of here. We want to make some plugins. Thank you very much. So what you want to do first, your public class Turtles is going to extends Java plugin. Now I'm gonna go over what extends mean in a future video, because we'll have to go into subclasses. But what this means is that Turtles is now going to be a subclass of a class that that Bukkit made called Java plugin. So basically, it's enabling Turtles to be a Java plugin. It's everything that's in Java plugin. Let me see what they got in there. Oh, we need a method. everything that's in Java plugin is now in your plugin. So what they put in there is like just the basic stuff, like logging a message to a server and all that. What you're going to do is you're going to take all that stuff that they already have and you're going to build onto it, which is your plugin, essentially. So there's two methods that you need. Oh, I should also mention this. When you, you know what, I'll go into this first. So we're going to do public void. Remember that, the void, there's no return. On enable. It needs to be called this. And I'll explain why in a second. We're going to have a second one called public void on disable. You can probably guess what these are going to do. Now, yours is probably highlighted red as well. The reason for this is even though you have the jar as a reference library, you need to actually import it into your code, into your class. So hover over it, import Java plugin. Good stuff. So this is the on enable. Oh, I'm sorry. You need to add what's called an annotation. It's an A, for like yours, the @ symbol for annotation. And what we're going to do is we're going to override these methods. So I didn't explain this in the methods video, but I probably should have. When you, let's see, so we have a string John, and it's just John's name, and now we have an integer stuff that's 67. If I do John plus stuff, what that's gonna give me, like what that's gonna combine to, that's perfectly legal. You can do that. It's gonna combine the two, and it's gonna give me a new string that's John 67. So if I was to do string new cool string, and I'm saying new cool string is equal to John plus stuff. New cool string is now John 67. It's called concatenating. It's a special Java word. It's called, you're concatenating the two things. But if you notice, this is combining two strings. So this isn't a string, so how is it that Java knows that you want to put 67 into a string? It's not magic. There's actually a method called toString that the integer has to it. It's most classes have this, called public string toString. And when you do this, when you put this in, you concatenate these two together and combine them, it automatically calls this toString method on stuff, and it converts stuff into a string. Now that's because you overrode the toString method, and you made it, the integer overrode the toString method and made it turn this into a string. You can do that too. If you have let's think, a public, you have an arena, okay, or a public void get arena, or you just, you know what, screw it, you have an arena object, okay, arena, my arena is equal to new arena. I'll explain the new operator in a future video as well. Now you can do, if you were to give my arena if you were to override the toString method, so you're giving it its own toString method, if you do new cool string is equal to John plus my arena, well, you couldn't do that because you defined this after that, but we'll put this up there. Now this is perfectly legal, because this is automatically going to call the toString method on my arena, and it's going to give you back a string that's hopefully going to have the arena's name. So anyway, before I go off into too much of a tangent, this is basically what you're doing when you do the on enable and on disable. You're overriding the on enable and on disable methods that are inside a Java plugin, and you're making it do what you want. Okay? Excuse me while I get a Skittle. Okay. So the on enable method is called by Java plugin. Now that's something that you have to remember, because you aren't, a lot of methods that that you use when you're making a plugin aren't called by you. They're called by Java plugin, which is your plugin, or they're called by the server or something. So you need to understand that. So when you start the plugin up, Java plugin is going to realize that, and it's going to be like, oh crap, I got to call this on enable method because the plugin is being enabled. So what you want to do now, we're going to create a logger. Just a logger is just a kind of class, just like turtles and string and all the ones that we've been dealing with. We're going to call this my plugin logger, and we're going to set this value to bucket. Bucket is a class. The dot, which allows us to access methods in that class. We're going to go down to get logger. So, and if you notice, let me show you something real quick. It's going to be helpful. See this little tooltip that Eclipse gives you? This is really helpful. So this is the method name. This right here is the return type. Remember how we said the return types are void and then any kind of variable that you want? This is returning a logger. And the last one tells you what class it's in. It's in the bucket class. So we're going to get the logger, and we're going to store it in this logger variable. Now we have to import this so it knows what we're talking about. Now we have a fancy myPluginLogger object that we can use for anything that we want, but what we're going to use it for is for logging messages to the console. So you know how if you've ever messed with a plug or a server before, you have your console, and when you reload the server, you get that long spam of messages of all your plugins. Well, you know what? You can make your own shit now. So you can go to myPluginLogger. You know how it says info next to a message, or it could say warning or severe? You can make all that shit too. Look at this. myPluginLogger info. Info is a method that takes a string as a parameter. Now notice this isn't a get method. We're not returning anything. We're just doing something. So what this is doing, we're going to log my plugin is being started. So what this is going to do is it's not returning anything. It's void. So there's a in the logger class there's a public void info that takes a string, something like that. Okay, so you're just using that, and this is going to send an info message to the console that says this. Same thing on disable. When you shut the server down and the plugin is disabling, it's going to print this message: myPluginLogger.info. My plugin is being disabled. Yay! Or boo! Whatever you wanna, however you're looking at that. So this is the basis for making a plugin. You need these methods. This is your main class. Usually, we wouldn't call it turtles. If you look in any of my other plugins, I have main. Ooh, that's a cool sound. I have main, which is that's this class. You only have one class that extends Java plugin, because you can't have two classes that have an on enable and on disable methods, because you're only enabling one plugin. You just can't do that. It's you can't have it enable in two spots because it's only one plugin. So you only extend one Java plugin. Okay. Now that's I'm gonna cut this out for this tutorial, so there really isn't any test. Actually, you know what? No, I will make a test. Here's what you're gonna do. Oh my dear God, I didn't give the answers to the last test. I'm a failure as a teacher. I forget what the homework or test was. I just made that video about 10 minutes ago, and I already forgot what it is. I believe, oh, here we go. I wanted you to make a private method that returned a double. It was called add. It took a double called number 1 and a double called number 2 as its parameters. And I said I wanted it to return the addition of these two numbers. So you had double added number is equal to number 1 plus 2, and we're going to return added number. And there's your methods, guys. See how this showed up as bad? It's saying that it's not used. The reason that public doesn't show up as not being used is because you don't know who in the whole wide universe is going to use your method. But if it's private, you know that only you're going to use it. So Eclipse is saying, yo, dude, you didn't use this. Get this shit out of here. You didn't. This is useless code that you didn't use. Unless we want to use it. We want to add 5 and 6, and boom, that's what we're going to do. Or hell, we can even go like this. We can have our logger log the addition of 5 and 6. Now we need to it needs to call the toString method for the double. So we're just gonna add a blank space. This isn't actually a space. This is just like a blank character. But in doing that, it's gonna call the toString method that's on double, because what this is just a double. So this is just it would be, what did I say, 5 and 6, so this is just 11. So it's the same thing. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So that is it for this tutorial. I'm gonna give you guys homework. What I want you to do is I want you to log a severe message. I'm not going to explain how to do that. I'm going to let you explore, try to figure it out. I want you to log a severe message that says, oh crap, my plugin's broke. Okay? So that is it. I will see you guys for episode number 4, where I'm going to go a little bit more into setting up your plugin, and we're going to actually put it on a server. Alright. Thanks for watching. Feel free to contact me on Skype if you have questions. Subscribe if you really want. I'm gonna keep making these things until I have shoved all the information that I can into your brains. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.